Hi everyone. Today I'm going to cover the detailed process of how do you apply for a Singapore visa for yourself without involving any agent. So I did this process for myself, and I think the key point to note here is that Singapore visa normally requires the applications to be processed with an agent, right? So there are a lot of online websites that do that for you, or there are authorized agents, that are marked mandatory by the Singapore government website from which you can get your visa process. But there is a way where you can apply the visa by yourself, provided you know somebody, either a friend or a colleague, a business colleague, associate, anybody, if you know who's residing in Singapore and can apply or is ready to apply that visa for yourself, that is when you can follow this process. This video does not cover the process of how do you go through an agent or any other website. So this is where you can save some money by applying the visa yourself if you know somebody in Singapore. So in this video, I'm going to cover all the requirements step by step in detail if you have to do it yourself. The visa application form, how do you make the payment, what all are the documents, my own personal experience, the issues that I faced while applying for this application, during the application, post the application, receiving your visa, and some tips and tricks from my personal experience. You may watch this video at 1.5x speed, or if you would like to skip to a relevant section, you may do that. So let me get started. So first of all, this is the official website where you have to go and understand the process for applying for a Singapore visa. This is the website that I have noted here. I will also share it within the description. This website is for various purposes, right? Like for issuing identity cards, passports, if you have to apply for a work visa or enter transit departure, there are some e-services forms, or if you have to check your status or make appointment, that is where all of this can be done from here. Thing to notice that I am talking about a tourist visa here, right? So we went here for a vacation, and that is what I'm covering. I'm not covering any work visa in this video. So you may choose to watch accordingly. So first is if you're applying, I'm covering this from India. So if you're applying from India, right, what this says is you definitely need a visa to enter Singapore. Some people, sometimes there is some confusion that if I have a US visa or if I have a Schengen visa, can I go on that visa? So no, you need a Singapore visa. It might be easier if you have, Schengen or a US visa, but you definitely need to apply for a Singapore visa if you have any plans to visit to Singapore. However, the passport holders of a diplomatic official or a service passport, they do not need a visa for entry. So at a high level, what are the documents that are required for a Singapore visa? So this is a duly filled Form 14A, right? This is the PDF. If you click here, but you don't need to fill the PDF. If you are filling this online, then you don't need to do fill this offline and send, right? So the next is your recent passport size colored photograph. You do not need a hard copy. All you need is a soft copy or a digital copy. I'll cover all of that in the video later. And a photocopy of your passport biodata page, that which means that your passport should be valid for 6 months from the date of entry into Singapore. Note that ideally, in a smooth process, you don't need to submit or send your passport. It is an e-visa that you receive over email, or when you click on this check status, and you can download that e-visa from here. You do not need to send your passport, and this visa is not even stamped on your passport. So this is in a way a good thing that the Singapore government has done to give you a e-visa for tourist purposes. However, during application or post application, if there are certain supporting documents that are required, different, letter of introduction or other things, they might be required on a case by case basis. Not everybody is required to do this. So all you need is this form that we'll fill online in this video, recent photograph and a passport photocopy. So the process is really simple, but because this process is not widely available for doing it yourself, I thought I will cover it online while I'll cover this through this video, right? So note that your visa application can be submitted online using this e-service or through local contract in Singapore. That is what I was saying, that you can use this e-service even if you know somebody. You can discuss with them, share your details with them, and they can submit it on your behalf. Another key point to note is that you are advised to apply for this visa within 30 days of arrival to Singapore. So what it does is that generally you should apply at least 30 days before, but there is a clause that and I'll show this later in the video also, that you're not able to apply if you're applying 40 days in advance, let's say. So anything more than 30 days, you are not able to apply. So you have to apply within those 30 days. And it what it means is you should not apply it on the last day. You need at least 1 week. They say the processing time is usually 3 to 4 days, but you should keep a buffer of 1 week to 10 days. And the best is that if you have your travel plan, do it within 30 days, right? So now click on apply online. What it will do is it will bring you to this website, and it has multiple options. Do you want to apply as a local contact, right? Individual user, which means a local contact in Singapore is applying the visa on your behalf, or apply for an entry visa as a local. So if this is not a tourist visa, if you're applying for a business user, then this is the option that you choose. If you're applying via an authorized visa agent, the authorized visa agent will choose this option. There are other options like strategic partner or inquirer application status. So this is key, because once you've applied, you can go here and you can inquire your application status yourself also. It does not need that the person who's applying for you only can inquire. Once the application is submitted, you can yourself go use the visa reference number and check the status yourself. So this is where, when you continue further, or when you click on this apply as a local contact, it will bring you to this screen. This is where the local contact person needs to sign in with their login details, right? So SingPass is something that is used within Singapore. So the people who are staying within Singapore or residents of Singapore will have this SingPass, and they will have these details. So you'll have to have a password login, or you can use it through the app also. Now, as soon as you log in, it says that you're applying for a entry visa and what is the information that is primarily required. So it requires a photocopy of the travel document, right? So, and the passport basically, which should be at least 6 months from the date. Even though it says it here, it does not ask for a copy. You don't need to even upload a scanned copy. All you need to do is fill your details, and that I'll show you covered in this video later. And what you will eventually need is a credit card to make your payment, or internet banking details, right? If the local person is doing it, then he'll need it. If you are doing it, then you will need it, right? So what it says is there are two options. If you are traveling alone, then it's an individual visa application. If you're applying for a family, which is a group of two family members at least, like a husband and a wife, or a husband and wife accompanied by kids, then you can use this application. And it is only applicable for applicants who are married and their unmarried children are below age of 21, which means if you are adults or if you're applying for parents, you'll have to apply it separately, right? So let's say in my case, I was applying for a family visa for myself and my wife, and that is the process that I'm going to cover here. So the first step is you have to fill in your personal details, right? So it says I've already covered that you should fill this within 30 days to avoid any delay, and it won't let you do it before 30 days as well, right? This overall process might take 20 minutes to complete. It's not complex, it's easy. If you continue watching this, you'll see how simple it is, right? So you need all of this information like the form 14A, which will be automatically filled, credit card and photograph, right? And there are the photograph dimensions and details that are mentioned here, that it should be taken within 3 months. It should be with white background and show the full face, right? And this is what it should be. So there is a photo guide also, right? What you can do is you can ideally get it clicked from outside, or there are certain websites or certain apps that the Singapore government authorizes, and like the ICA was an app that I used, and you can download that and take a picture from that and use that picture to be uploaded here also. It There is this generic information that it should be in English, right? And some certain characters in Latin are allowed. And then this is some again generic information of how many applications at a time you can save, like for 7 applications only. And then it will be automatically deleted after 14 days. If information will not be saved if you don't save it, right? So this is some generic information. So now you start filling the application. So first of all, you fill the information for the main applicant, which was me in this case, right? So fill in your name, then fill in your date of birth, your sex, country of or place of birth, the state or province of birth. Are you the main applicant? Nationality, religion, race, marital status, and then you can fill the travel document. So given your passport number, the issue date, the expiry date, and the place of issue of the passport. So after this, you have to give the address in the country or place of origin, right? Where you stay, you have to give your address. I am applying from Gurugram, Haryana, so that is what it shows as my address. You give in all of those details and then click on proceed, and then you enter your email ID and contact number, and then what you have to do is fill your occupation and education information. So I am a manager, whatever from the drop down suits you, choose that. Then you have to give your highest academic or professional qualification attained. There are multiple options in the drop down that I'll show later also, but the issue that I faced is that I'm a chartered accountant and that was not shown. So it shows postgraduate or university. I chose university and it worked well for me because I got my visa. Then what you have to do next is, after filling these details, you have to fill your annual income in Singapore dollars. So whatever is your income in, let's say, Indian currency or any other country's currency, convert that into Singapore dollar by applying the exchange rate and enter that information here. Then the information of visit needs to be filled in, like what is your expected date of arrival, right? Fill that date, and then what kind of visa do you want, a single entry or a multiple entry or double entry, like we wanted to go visit once and then come back, so we applied for a single journey visa. And how long do you intend to stay? We went for 3 or 4 days, so we chose less than 30 days, right? And even if you apply for 3 or 4 days, you might get the visa for a month, right? So I got a visa for 30 days, right? And then you have to choose your purpose of visit. Are you going for business or social? That is what you need to choose, right? So these are all the options that you get within the purpose of visit, right? So so what you have to choose from here further is, I chose a social visit, right? Purpose of visit, and then there are a lot of these options. Social visit, free and easy tour. You'll see social visit tour with itinerary also. So I did not have any fixed itinerary. It was free and easy tour. So I think you could choose any of these options that suits you most best. Then there's additional information. I did not fill in any additional information. I think you can just write, if you need any additional information, let me know. Otherwise, I think you can leave it blank also. It's not mandatory. So as you proceed further, this is the local contact's email address. So the person who resides in Singapore and is applying this visa on your behalf, their email address, right? And then make sure this gets confusing, applicant's country or place of embarkation before arriving Singapore. This is not the local contact's information. This is your information. If you're traveling from any other country, right, before visiting Singapore, that is what you have to mention, which is the last country that you will be visiting before Singapore. Then again, address in Singapore. This is not the local contact's email address. This is your address in Singapore where you will be staying, right? So even if you're staying in a hotel, mention hotel. I entered my hotel details. You can pick it up, from Google. So whatever your hotel details are, the contact number and the address, you can put it here. It's not mandatory to give or show a confirmed hotel booking, but in my case, because my hotel was confirmed already, I booked a hotel using points. So I had a hotel booked already, so you can do that. If not, you can enter the address of a hotel that you plan to stay, right? It does not need to be a confirmed booking in that particular hotel only. It is for your benefit that you enter the right and correct details. So as you go ahead, then it asks you whether have you resided in other countries other than your place of origin. So for my case, it was no. I did stay, but it was beyond 6 or 7 years. So I entered no, and then these are the generic details of the antecedents of the applicant, whether you've been refused any entry or have been convicted or have been prohibited from entering Singapore and have entered Singapore using a different passport or name, right? So the option was no for me. If any of these options is yes for you, choose yes, and then another options to fill might open for you if it's yes for you, right? Then post that, click on next. Then it will do what it will do is, what happened for me is, as I click next, it said you can only proceed after you've correctly completed the fields in red. So some fields were not completely filled for me. For example, here the expected date of arrival is more than 30 days, so please submit the application on 22nd April. So I was applying 31 days before, it did not allow me. So what I had to do is, I clicked, I can save this application, right? And then what, there was another error. The contact number was incorrect. There was a space in between the number. So I corrected that and I saved. So what it then said is, your application has been saved. I again then went in at the required date. So this is where the local contact will log in with their SingPass details. Then you scroll down, it might be a little complex to find where this got saved, but you scroll down to entry visa, right? And then you will see the list of your draft application. So this draft application was saved from me. I can retrieve it from here and I can resubmit this application, continue from where I had left, right? So I had already filled in applicant my particular details and some additional information. Now this is asking for local contacts details, right? So the person who is applying for this visa needs to put in their name, their identity card number, right? This is the SingPass number, and what is the relationship of applicant to the local contact. There are again a lot of options. It might be a relative who's staying in Singapore, a friend. If you're not sure, you can simply choose others, which is what I had chosen. And if you're saying if it's others, please specify which is a colleague. So I applied through a business person, right? So I was not applying for a business visa, but the company that I work in, a person stayed in Singapore and he helped the applying the visa for me and my wife, right? So then the address in Singapore, this is the address of the local person. So wherever that person who's applying, who's staying in Singapore, can enter all of these details of their address in Singapore and click on save. Right now, you fill the local particular details as well. The next step is uploading a photo. I think we've talked about what should be the descriptions or details of the photo. Right, all of this is mentioned here. Make sure you have the correct photo already clicked and saved before that, or you can save application and come back and upload the photo here, right? Then when you go ahead, click on browse, upload your picture as per their guidelines, and then it says, application for a family visa. You can add maximum of 10 applications. You can click on draft, and drafts will be automatically deleted from 14 days. One confusion here was that we filled all the applicant details, but it did not ask for the family details or the second person details. So what you have to do is, don't get confused, because here it is now asking for a declaration. So it looks like the application is complete and probably only one person's detail needs to be given, but that is not the case. You go ahead, check the declaration and click on when you've I've read the and agree to the declaration, and then click on create new applicant. This is where you will fill it the application for your spouse or your kids. So click on create new applicants. Do the same process that you did for yourself. So if you see here, it says particulars of second applicant now, right? So enter the name, enter the date of birth, and all of these details that are belonging to the passport, right? What is the relation? Are you the child or are you the spouse? Then nationality, religion, marital status. Enter all of this information, right? And then your travel document details, which is your passport number, issue date, expiry date, right? Make sure the confusion sometimes happens is that within this you have to enter the place of issue. So if your date of birth or place of birth is different than where you are staying now, or the passport has been issued at a different place, then this place will be something else. So in our case, born and brought up in Punjab, but the passport latest was issued in Delhi. So I had earlier put Punjab, but now later I realized and I corrected it to Delhi. So make sure this is not your place of birth. This is your uh, place of issue of your passport, right? Enter all of these details and then enter your address in the place of original residence. That is where you are staying currently. So like I mentioned earlier, we are staying in Gurugram, Haryana. Enter that, click next, right? And then enter the applicant's email and applicant's contact number. Could be the same as your number, or if you want to enter your spouse's number, you can do that. Same occupation. And then, like, this is what I was talking about, chartered accountancy is not showing here, right? So you may choose whether you are a graduate, postgraduate, or a university. I choose university, right? Enter the annual income if your wife is earning as well. This all information, this gets pre-populated from the main applicant, right? Your date of arrival, purpose of visit, because you're applying together in an application, all of this gets copied over, right? So fill all of this detail again for the spouse as well, whether you've been convicted or deported or no, right? Then enter or upload the picture of your spouse as well. Then that page comes for the relationship of the second person also to the local contact. Again, same colleague, and enter the address in Singapore. This gets pre-populated. You just have to click on proceed, and then you click on declaration and you click on submit application, right? So once you submit application, what it says is this is your payment summary, which is the fees right now is 30 Singapore dollars, right? So 30 Singapore dollars for each, so which is $60. If you had applied it through an agent, this fees would could be almost double. So that is why I chose to apply it through a contact who I knew already, right? So it says $30 for each, and then you have to click on proceed to payment. It will bring you to this page. You might get confused whether do you have e-nets account if you're paying from your Indian card or not, right? So total amount paid is $60, right? So you go ahead, choose any of these options, right? You can choose credit or debit card or internet banking or American Express card specifically, right? So I chose the credit and debit card here. So what you see here is I have an American or a US card. So I entered that card details. You might try for your Indian card if it has international transactions allowed. It might go through. If not, you can request your local contact to make the payment for you, and then you can see, you can pay them when you reach there, or you can try to pay them through other means, right? So enter your card details, click on submit, and then what you will get is a receipt of this, right? That I've paid $60 through my credit card. My transaction is successful. I'll get a receipt, and then when you close that receipt page, you will get an acknowledgement that your transaction has been successfully submitted. There are three different application numbers. One is a family visa application number, and then there are two individual application numbers. You can inquire on this application through any of these visa reference numbers, through individual or through family, right? So go to inquire application status here or on the main page that I had shown here. After you've applied, right, it says that the processing time is within 3 days, right? But it may take longer, and this does not, getting a visa does not grant you that you will be allowed to enter as well, right? So I am going to cover certain few things in the next slide as well, so that are important too, right? So you can save this application to PDF and continue tracking your application within 3 to 4 days. I did get my visa, which is what I'm going to show now. So as soon as you save it, right, you get an email also on your email ID that you have submitted for this application, and these are all of the details that you submitted. Then when you go ahead and inquire, what you see here is you will see in progress or approved. So this is a screenshot of when my visa was approved, and if you see here, this is a link to e-visa. If you click on this, you can be able to print or save that visa, and it says that family visa application has been processed. So this was the visa reference number for both of us. It was approved, and we got two separate e-visas. You can click on this and you can download this. This is what it looks like. So you'll get a e-visa number and all of the details of your name and travel document, and shows that you have a single journey. So if you see, it was issued on 23rd April and it was issued till 25 June. For me, it was issued for approximately, you can say, 2 months, but my travel date was only days were 4 days, but I got it for extra period, right? You might get it as well. So then if for any reason your plans change, or if you have to, your travel dates change, if you have to travel on another visa, then you have to apply for this application again, is what it says. Then do read this. This is the important thing that we miss, right? This is the second and third, these are normal, that you should meet all the requirements and you might be denied entry. Visa does not guarantee that you will be allowed an entry into Singapore. What this is important is that I missed earlier and that I saw later, when before just I had to travelers must submit their arrival information, including their health declaration, using the SG arrival card e-services up to 3 days before their entry into Singapore. So like when you check in, right, you might, the airlines might ask you to upload this form, certain airlines, right? So what you have to do is, before check-in, before 3 days when you have to fly, make sure you fill this form for health declaration online, and then when you are doing online checking, this might be required, or you might not be able to do a web check-in. You will have to go in at the check-in counter and they will ask you for visa. They did not ask me for this, right? But there may be certain cases where they ask this. Another thing important is, that's not probably mentioned here, is do take travel insurance. It does, when you probably try to fill this, you'll see that travel insurance is also mandatory. So sometimes again, they ask for travel insurance, they might not ask for it, but it's good to take travel insurance. You can take it through Policy Bazaar or Echo. I chose Echo. It was giving me a comprehensive coverage at a lesser price. So for those days that I had to travel, I took a travel insurance from Echo. So I hope this makes this process easier for you and is able to save some money for you if you're trying to apply this visa application yourself. Wish you a happy journey, and I hope you have a lot of fun in Singapore. Thank you so much for watching.